Hi, you guys. Hi. I have been waiting to connect with you guys all day. It has been a beautiful day today. How are you? Hi. Just getting myself ready here and situated. If you're just jumping on, let me know where you are watching from. I want to hear where you're from. Who do we have? Hi. For some reason, it takes me a little while to see the comments when I do it from my desktop. So I can see the numbers growing, but I can't see who is on yet. So it's so good to see you guys. Welcome to training number 2 in the Goddess Boss Academy. Hi, Katie. Hi, Mel. Hi, Nikki. I can see you. Portland, Oregon. Oh my gosh. Is it super, super cloudy and rainy like it is here? Thank you, Jordan. So good to see you. So how is everyone doing? This is the beautiful week of awareness, and I honor each of you that took the time to explore and lay out what it is that your desires are, what your goal is, what the reason is that you're here, because we're going to today, we're going to get into some juicy stuff. We're going to really solidify this for you. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Christy. Christy, congratulations, girl. Amanda, hi. It's so good to see you. Trisha, hey, girl. Carrie, what's up? Oh, my gosh. Okay. So I have to know. Hey, Asia. Marlene, hi. I have to know. What oil are you working with today? What are you diffusing? What is like that oil? Like, what's your jam today? I have to know. Today I posted what mine is, the oatmeal cookies. Oh, man. If you don't have, I put them, I really need to be better at preparing myself with the oils here. But I posted the oatmeal cookie recipe and it is to die for. So definitely blend that up if you have them. Juniper berry and balance. I love juniper berry. Such a great oil for releasing fear. Clove. I mean, Trisha, you're clove, girl. Clove, cedarwood, and wild orange. So I did the same one except with cassia. Citrus bliss and peppermint. How invigorating. I love that. Balance and then neroli on you, Christy. Yep. Me, neroli is always on me. Mr. Frank, he makes it around. Frank, lavender and peppermint, Amanda. That's so good. Spiritually awakening with a little bit of frankincense in there. Oh, yes. Oh, Jordan puts, which one? Oh, I know I know what you're talking about. It's called, what's it called? Jeepers Creepers. Balance and On Guard, peppermint, lavender, lemon. Yes, perfect. Great blend. Great blend, Katie. What's it called? It's not called Evolve. It's called, no, Jeepers. Okay. I know what you're talking about. It's Ryan's favorite oil too. Bergamot and ylang ylang. Talk about a divine feminine combo right there, Marlene. So today we're yes, that's it. Perfect. Today we're going to talk about what is stopping you. What is stopping you? So you have gone through what your desires are, or you've started to bring awareness to what you actually want. Isn't it interesting that when I work with people and I ask them what it is that they want, if it's an income goal, if it's a business goal, if it's a relationship goal, most of them say, I don't know, I don't want to think about it. I don't know, I haven't really thought about it, I don't think it's going to come true. When I ask someone, well, if I could wave a magic wand, what is your ideal? And they still have a hard time looking at it because we are programmed to not toot our own horn, to not go for the things that might not happen, to not set ourselves up for failure. We play it safe. So most of the time, it's really interesting for me as a coach and as a leader that a lot of people don't even explore what their deepest desires are. So today we're going to kind of look at what are some of the ways that you're stopping yourself from either looking at them if you didn't, or what's stopping you from actually going after them and achieving them. So I want to bring you guys back to the basics. There is this, and I've done some Facebook Lives on this, but there is this blueprint that we were instilled with. And we spoke about this on the last one, right? We do not question how a bud turns into a blossom. We don't even question that. We just have this trust and this faith that this cute little bud is going to blossom into this beautiful, beautiful flower and then evolve and do its thing. We don't sit there and analyze, well, how long is it taking for that bud to crack open? You know, how long is it going to take for that blossom to open one little leaf or one little flower or one little petal? We don't question that, but we do that with ourselves all the time. You know, it's not happening fast enough. These people aren't hearing my message. I'm not signing up enough people in my business. We're going to get to that too. But we want to look at what are some of the real reasons that are stopping us. And I'm going to be real with you. They're just stories that we've carried on from under the age of 10. That's it. So if we can actually expose them like we want to bring all the darkness to the light and look at it, we can choose to let it go. So Marianne Williamson talks about this a lot, and as a student in A Course in Miracles, I deeply believe in forgiveness. I have learned, because it has been extremely hard and painful for me over the years, to forgive myself. It's the hardest thing I've actually had to do in my process of coming back home. I thought that if I did something that maybe wasn't the best thing that I should have done, that I had to hold on to it. And the way that I was raised is that, you know, the more that you can worry about things, the more it means you're caring about that person. So I've had to learn to unhook from that and trust what my intuition is telling me, trust what feels the best, which took me a long time to learn. Now, when I incorporate the oils into my practice of unhooking, which we'll go through today, so I want to share with you guys, actually, I want you guys to share with me, if you feel comfortable, trust this is a safe place and everything that happens in the Goddess Boss Academy stays in the Goddess Boss Academy. But what is something that is stopping you right now from achieving that goal or that dream or that intention that you placed on the list that you wrote out over the last couple days? Because I know that we have a lot of network marketers in the group, not saying everybody is, but we do have a lot of people that have a network marketing business. Now, I know many of you, personally, I work with you on our team or outside in our coaching groups or just as a friend. And I know even if you're in a different network marketing company, you're running for a goal. And most of you are doing it by the end of this month. So we have a few days left. We have like 6 days left. So we want to know, what is it that's actually stopping you? Do you believe that you can achieve it? Do you struggle with thinking that you can? Fear of success. Me too. Fear. Precious Miller, what is the fear? Only me. So Christy says only me. That's the only thing that can get in my way. It's true, right? You. So it's actually not even you. It's your ego. We have two minds. This is my belief. We have two minds. We have a mind that is coming from the ego. It's going to tell you every single fear, every single wrong choice. It's going to keep you in pain, which is so fascinating to me because the ego, it wants you to go and take, you know, the right way that it's telling you to take, and then it also brings pain along with it, which is so interesting. It's not just as beautiful and flowy as it's trying to tell you that it is. Now, the other mind we have is the right mind, as A Course in Miracles says, or, you know, love, where you're feeling in flow, where you feel really good. So we have two minds. So actually, when we are hung up or thinking that I can't do it or myself is getting in the way, that's not true. It's not true, because your true self is love, and nothing would get in the way of that. So this is a great awareness, because this is what I'm doing. It's just thank you for sharing this, Christy, and all of you. Thank you for sharing this. I'm able to show you where we can start to have that shift. We're going to go through the process today. Fear of other people's opinions. Me too. I can hear you on that one. Okay, so fear of success. Got it. Fear for sure. Fear of rejection. That goes very deep for me. Me too. Big one for me is fear of having to lead a team and feeling like I'm not going to be able to help them be successful. Oh, Helene, thank you for sharing that. Me too. Fear of vulnerability. Okay, Deborah. Okay, I have all of these. I mean, now I know why we're all in a tribe together. I have been through all of these, and I'm sure you guys are reading this and can relate that each of us can fit into different fears here together. We could definitely jam out on this forever. But now that we're exposing them and we can sit and we can look at them, I want you to ask yourself, really, is that true? You know, is it true, Helene, that you can't lead a team and have people be successful with you? I don't think so. Because when I look at you, I'm like, you are so successful. You have everything that you can coach someone through. So when I first started out in this business, in doTERRA, I had this exact same fear that Helene brought up, actually. So like I said, I didn't want to build the business, and I wanted to do it my own way. And I actually didn't launch till about 6 months ago. At the end of this month, we will be a 6-figure team. And I say that because it's taken us a very short time, and everything that I'm teaching you guys in the Goddess Boss Academy is exactly what myself and the team do to get themselves into energetic alignment with what we're creating, to get us together as a team, as a family. But also we talk about our fears. It's not something that we want to skirt aside, and anybody else that's in network marketing. So Helene, I know that you are, and Katie is a great example of this too, as someone I work really closely with outside of the academy here in another coaching program. They're in different network marketing companies. Now, I came from a previous network marketing company, and I know the shaming and the fear and the needing to lead at a very aggressive pace, and that scared me. So what Helene's saying is feeling like I'm not able to help them be successful. When I came here, I thought, one, I'm not building this with Ryan, so oh my gosh, Ryan's so much better at team building than I am. This was a story I was telling myself. And so now, thankfully, I was able to take the tools that we're going to go through here today and shift, because if I did not face this fear and say, you know what, this is a gift from God, this is an opportunity that came into my lap, everything is expanding, I have to go on what feels right. I thought people were going to judge me for starting another network marketing company. Heaven forbid I didn't have the fast success that we did in the last one, and then I'd be judged even more. You know, I felt that I'd get rejected by all these people because I thought I was just jumping around. I had all these false beliefs. But if I didn't work through the fear, the Goddess Bosses wouldn't be who they are today. You and I would not be here, all 15 of us on this live broadcast right now together, having a breakthrough. And I think of that and I think, well, wow, that would be sad. That would be such a disservice that, you know, I couldn't share my passion with other people. Or a fear of success. I had this huge fear of success. For all you that have a fear of success, I want you to identify who also has a fear of success that you would have learned this from. And when I peeled it back, because I was actually more afraid of success than I was of failure. And this might sound weird for some of you, but we're going to talk a little bit about how our fears are actually feeding us. Asia says, my dad, me too. So our fears are feeding us. They're giving us an emotional payoff. That's why we're looping into them every day. It's like a hit. It's like a hit. Asia knows this because I share this story a lot in coaching that I do. When Ryan and I were extremely broke, I used to go to Whole Foods or a grocery store knowing that I didn't have enough money on my debit card at the time. We didn't have credit cards because they were all in collections. So I'd go with my debit card and I would hand it to the cashier and I would pray, like, please go through, please go through, please go through. And it was like I was getting a hit off of it. If it went through, it was like, yeah, I made it. And if it didn't, I was getting a hit of that sadness that I was addicted to. And you know who I would run and I would call right away was my mom. I'd say, Mom, my groceries didn't go through. And what I got from her was love. Now, I didn't understand getting love through success, because when I showed up and shared to my family, like, bless them, I love them to death, and my mom's in the business with me, she's rocking it. But when back in the day, when I would go to get love, I couldn't show up in a space of success because they couldn't relate to me. And it wasn't the type of overpowering love that I would get from them when I was coming to them in a space of fear or a space of brokenness or a space of no money. And I actually thought that the more I showed up as a failure, especially financially, I was allowing my parents, and this sounds weird, to feel like they were significant because they were able to put money in my account. And I felt like we were equally having an exchange of love. Now, when you're attaching a belief of love to it, it is going to be hard to take our hands off the reins, right? Because now oh my God, we're out of control. What are we going to do? I didn't know who I was if I was going to be successful. So our first little bit of success, thank God for Ryan that really took it on and wanted to start the business. I used to tell him when we first started making 6 figures, I'm like, do not tell my family when we go for dinner, do not tell them how much money we're making. He's like, what the heck? Like, we got to celebrate this. And I'm like, just don't, because I didn't want people to feel bad. So we want to peel back what this fear of success is, because we can label it, but we do not want to keep it just surface level. Oh shit, I have a fear of success. Okay, well then I can't go out and I can't do it. What we want to start to do is we want to start to express what this fear means to us, what we're making it mean. So for me, my story was, okay, I really fear success because if I'm successful and my family is not, it's going to make them feel less than, I'm going to change, they can't love me, I can't love them. Okay, is that really, really true? And I would literally talk myself through the fear, because we don't want to dismiss it just thinking, I have a fear, can't really do anything. So this is where you can start to go into, as A Course in Miracles will say, or as we believe, to live our business and create it from a space of flow is meaning we're coming from a place of love. And when we're coming from a place of love, there are no obstacles. And if there are ones that show up, we have that choice and we're aware of that choice to choose again. So what I suggest we do, and what you guys can do right now, that is all coming forward, and you guys are so beautiful and courageous for sharing what some of your blocks are and what's stopping you, is go back to that time that you felt first, like that time, the first time you ever felt like you should not have been successful, or that you can't lead a team, or that you're lacking self-confidence, or that you have no power. You know, when did that first come up for you? Was it something somebody said? What we want to do is we want to go right back to that moment where we made the wrong turn. Some people feel, and especially in business, that, oh crap, I missed my boat. I didn't sign up enough people. I didn't hit that first rank in a certain time. You know, I'm too old now to go back to get my coaching education, or whatever the story is that we're playing. And we feel like we missed out. But the truth is, if you're still being called, if you showed up here, you're still being called to something greater. So Spirit, the universe, planted you with this blueprint. And yeah, maybe we took a right when we should have taken a left. And that's okay. Nothing has left you. Everything is just sitting there waiting for you. So what you can do is you can go back to that moment, and in that moment, forgive yourself and forgive the other person, and then choose again. Asia said her dad, so this is where I feel like, if you haven't listened to the podcast that Ryan and I recently did on balancing or harmonizing the masculine and the feminine, a lot of that my pain around business really stemmed from my belief of what my dad would tell me. My dad always said he had started businesses. He's always been an entrepreneur, but never, unfortunately, with his own businesses, ever has been that successful. And when I was under 5, I was watching that happen. And so I grew up with an entrepreneurial spirit, but also one that questioned if any of this was going to happen. I also had my Nana, who lived next door, who came from Germany and has lived here ever since, and would tell me, you know, she had 3 jobs or 2 or 3 jobs, and she would always say to me, you know, Chrissy babe, all good things will come to an end, so why bother working so hard? She just sent me an email actually saying, well, I guess being busy is good, Chris, but don't work yourself into the ground. And I'm like, man, like we're on a mission here. So it's so interesting how we're still being triggered by these things. But going back into that moment where you can look and say, okay, this is just my dad's belief. This isn't actually mine. What do I want to be true? This is where I go and we really open up our chakras, and I still will feel fears or feelings from my old programming from my childhood that is holding me back today. Just at the beginning of October, I had a nervous meltdown over this next goal in business. Everything that Helene was sharing with me, everything that Trisha shared about lack of confidence, I faced all of these still. And I couldn't even quite understand what it was. It wasn't the money. It's not the money. It's the level of responsibility, and I still have this fear of rejection. And it's not that somebody says no to me in my business anymore. And I think we start to rotate, like they say, like with addiction. I was addicted to negative thinking. I was addicted to feeling pain. So when we move that addiction from one thing, that used to be like, oh my God, someone is going to say no to me in my business. My life will be over. I can't talk about it. I can't do it. I kind of got out of that. And then now I'm still seeing this fear of rejection that would run through me really strong has moved into something else. My fear of rejection now is within my team, and heaven forbid someone wants to leave. And so I want to protect myself. And it's not serving me. So at the beginning of October, I still face this. And I'm like, this is where you're gonna get to the point where your fear at some level is still feeding you. And what I noticed at the beginning of October is this is no longer needed. You're gonna get to a point where you're sick of it and you're gonna want to shift. And this is what happens with a lot of people when they're going in a place of no income or low income, and they want to up their income, but they can't seem to understand why they're applying the 7 steps and it's just not happening. Right? Have you ever been there? You're like, I'm doing all the right things and my income's not growing. It's just because you haven't gotten sick yet of where you're at. Because then you'll make the decision and you will show up every day. Someone asked me earlier, actually a few of people in the group asked me earlier, I'm writing, I'm journaling, I'm praying, I'm opening up to this flow. I'm not hearing anything. And all that is showing with me is a spiritual exercise is just as powerful as a physical exercise. So showing up every day, the universe doesn't have favorites. We all have the exact same divine intelligence running through each of us. It's just not, you're just not showing up every day. It needs to be like a commitment, a habit that you get into, that you're listening, that you're getting still, that you're using your oils, that you're handing over. Marianne Williamson says, what you place on the altar will be altered. So many people in business, or when we're going through a tough time, we forget that we have all this extra help and we don't need to do it alone. There's actually something I wanted to share with you that she said, where did I write that? Maybe I can't find it. I'll post it in the group she said, your superpower that God gave you is that you can change your thoughts. And I thought that was so true for the conversation that we were having today. That's our superpower. At any moment, we can shift our thought and we can create a magical reality. Because no matter what we're creating, so we're either going to create something from love, or we're going to create something from fear. We're going to allow it to take longer, or we're going to allow it to take, a really quick time, like in 25 days, going to a really great goal was faster than I expected. So now that you guys can see, and I'm going to leave you some exercises that you can do today. I am again 3 minutes over. I say 20 minutes, you guys, and then I go on my little tangents. So we're just going to keep going a couple more minutes. But I'm going to leave you some exercises that you guys can walk through yourself and use your oils to unlock and also keep that vibration of what you want instead of the fear. So I'm going to post an ebook that I'm working on just for you guys, and it's laying out how I actually use the energy and the oils to flow in business. I know, like I said, some are in business, some of you aren't, but everybody that is in business wants to know what it is that we do. So I'm going to write out like a blueprint. But in that blueprint, I share with you guys that us as our bodies carry a certain frequency. Now, when we're sick, our frequency lowers, but we're all at a certain frequency. And that's when you're working with your oils, they carry a frequency. So this is why when you're applying them, or you're taking them internally, or you're putting them in your diffuser, why you can feel that shift is they're helping you shift your vibration. Now, everything in life is vibration. It's our frequency. So if you want more people joining your business, you have to drop this story of this lack of confidence, of this fear of rejection, of, or am I going to be able to lead people? I'm going to tell you, like, super, super real. You would not have signed up in a business, or you would not have raised your hand to change your life if you are not capable of doing so. So you have to make the decision that you're going to see this fear as actually a gatekeeper. Rebecca Campbell talks about this all the time, right? Our soul is nudging us. The niggles, she calls it the niggles. Our soul is nudging us to create something, to go out and carry this message forward. And we have to follow it. And our fear that shows up is actually the gatekeeper that we have to go through. And that's where your magic lies. But a miracle is merely a shift in perception. So as soon as we can go back into the moment where we felt the most pain and sit with it, work with our oils there, and ask to choose again. And also ask to hear, what signs do I need? What messages do I need? How can I carry this forward? Who can I serve today? And we stop making our business about us, because it's not about us. Or we start making our relationships, our family relationships, all about us. They say what you give to others is what you want to receive, right? So I had to learn this the hard way with Ryan. Ryan and I have been together for a really, really, really long time, and I'm like, you're not giving me, you're not giving me, you're not giving me. I wasn't giving myself. We have to take responsibility. When you get to that moment where you look at the fear, where it originated from, where you took a left when you should have taken a right, and you want to course correct all of this, this is your magical formula for this week, where you want to course correct everything, is one, you take responsibility that you're here because you chose to be here. You chose to experience that pain. You chose to experience to take that left instead of the right. You chose to say that thing you shouldn't have. But then you also recognize that your superpower is choosing again. And you say, I forgive myself, I forgive that other person, I forgive, this circumstance, but you know what? I don't need to carry this baggage forward anymore. Because you can take it off and you can feel free, and it's all a choice. I'm going to say this. It took me a little bit of time to understand this, like I said, because I didn't know what my life would be like without the heaviness. Because I was so identified by my heaviness, I was too afraid to take it off. But I was never in a group like this. I was never, ever, ever, I was working with somebody one-on-one that was trying to explain to me, and honestly, all I wanted from her at the time was to tell me how to make more money, and she kept telling me, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And I'm like, you're crazy, I need to make money. And it was all of these fears that you guys listed that I can say me too is what kept me from attracting people. The reason that I attract so many people today is I am a clear vessel, and I'm sharing these stories with you because what you guys are going through is going to be the backbone and the through line of whatever success you want to have going forward. And it's your lesson that you can carry forward. And how beautiful that you can carry forward in your own way that people can resonate and learn from. So let me go back to I took some notes here for you guys. Oh my gosh, 20 minutes. Okay. We talked about what stops you going to the root. I'm going to write that out for you guys and put it up. Not hearing the message. Vibration. Okay. Also, what I think was a big change for me when I started to recognize my vibration and where I was and how I was creating, because I couldn't understand why I kept thinking I was thinking positively and getting so much crap still thrown back at me. I just didn't get it. So I had to start logging my thoughts. I spoke about this in our Rise Up Spirit Rebels the other day on our call. Deborah would know. I talked about every 2 hours I would set an alarm on my phone, and I would allow that alarm to go off and remind me to ask myself, what am I thinking right now? And what am I feeling? And I kept a journal with me. I actually keep a journal with me everywhere I go. And when I started to get clear on what my primary thoughts and feelings were, I could sure as heck see why I was $60,000 in the hole and why nobody wanted to join me in business. You can take all the steps that you want, you guys. It's not going to work. You can try and fix your relationship all you want, making your husband change, making your wife change. It just won't work until you do the work on yourself and you start to up your vibration and live in a world that is loving and give that love to others and live in that space. That's the key. Oh, Helene, I'm so glad you can relate to this. So for those of you that were asking about the Emotions and Essential Oils book, this is it. So all of you guys that got the Home Essentials kit, all the oils are in here, and they're going to share with you some of the, like lavender, for example. Lavender, the negative emotions are when you're feeling blocked communication, fear of rejection, you guys, feeling unseen or unheard, tension, emotional dishonesty, hiding, fear of self-disclosure. Now, when you work with lavender, as this example, talk about such a random one that I chose, fear of rejection, all of us, yeah. The positive properties of working with lavender and what you will feel is open communication, relaxed, expressive, emotional honesty, and heard. So if you guys do not have this book, and when your intuition every day pulls you to an oil and you want to know what the emotional properties are, what I did when I first started with my oils was I'd let my intuition guide me, and I would run to my book or I'd go online and I would read and be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm picking up console today, and it's really having me, showing me that I'm feeling anxious or restless or unsettled. So what can I journal on today? How am I feeling restless or unsettled right now? Because I trusted that I was guided to it for a reason. It was going to help me have a breakthrough. So then I would use the oils. I would put it on my hand, and I like to use my affirmations. I like to ask God to come through me when I journal, and then I would journal it out. Then what I would notice is I'd feel better, and I had unhooked myself from all of these emotions, and I could show up being the highest version of myself. So this is why I know the oils help so much when we're creating our magical, madly wild lives, is because they're tools that are not only guiding us to what we need to work on right now, but they're helping us unhook in a very gentle way because of their vibration, because all our emotions hold a vibration. Everything does. So imagine if you're feeling like you want some spiritual connection, all you need to do is be open enough for that spiritual connection, open enough to release the fears, open enough to feel what a spiritual connection will allow for you, or that flow, as we like to call it, and then work with an oil that will help you feel that. Incredible. So does anybody have any questions? I know some of you had questions about where to place the oils. I did a video last night and it was horrible, so I didn't post it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to quickly show you guys exactly where I place the oils. I know some of you have the Home Essentials kit, so today I'm using the touch roller bottles, so Passion and some of the emotional line. I just find that they're easier for me on most days. But where we have 7 energy centers in the body. My sister just posted that she used this today and felt completely different. So again, it's opening up all of our energy centers so we can become that channel and we can let go of the fear. We can also, like I watched Carrie, she's speaking her voice so much more. She's open. She's open. She heard the download. She knew it had to get out there. She had the courage, and it's because she's now an open channel. And she's talking about it, and she's surrounded by people that are supporting her. So it's beautiful. So this might be awkward. I'm just going to show you my crotch for a second. Oh my gosh. So for those of you that don't know what your energy centers are, the root chakra is like down here, right above your privates. So what I do is I open up the cap of balance, and I just put a little bit on my finger, like it's just a little bit, and then I rub it in a clockwise circle. So starting from, I'm just going to put some on there and don't let it go to waste. Starting from the root up, and then we're going to go to our sacral, which is, this is upside down. It's, under your belly button, just above your crotch. And then cheer, or I'm using cheer, and then that's on your stomach, and then your heart, and then your throat, your third eye, and for Jennifer Hyde, yes, I put it right on my hairline for my crown. That's what I do. I just want the best benefits from it. And I do that twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, depending on how I feel. Ryan felt really off the other day. He couldn't understand what was going on. He was feeling disconnected, feeling a little sad, feeling like he needed kind of a pick-me-up. So I had him lay down on his face down on the pillow. I added on his spine first for spiritual connection, sandalwood, frankincense, and clary sage. Sandalwood, frankincense, and clary sage, the oils of spiritual connection. And I ran those down his spine with a little bit of almond oil I used. And then after, he flipped over and I unlocked all his chakras with these chakra blend, or the chakra oils, and checked over. Oh, that's what I was going to share with you guys. Some of you want to know about the pendulum. Sorry, you guys. I'm going to have to say we're not going to keep these to 20 minutes most of the time. So what I did was then I went over all of his chakras and I checked with the pendulum if they were opened or closed. And then he was all open and he said to me, you know what? This is like the first time I've ever felt something so radical with these oils before. And I'm like, duh. And now he uses past tense all the time. If you ever come to our house or give Ryan a hug and he smells like mint and cilantro, it's because he blows through one of these in a week of past tense. He wears it all the time. It totally has changed. He even puts it on his third eye. And we're going to talk with Ryan on Friday, you guys. So you can bring any questions that you have around awareness, or he's going to come on and be our guest. So with our pendulum, if you have a pendulum, you can also use a necklace that has a crystal on it, anything that you have. What you want to do to see if your chakras are open is, should I talk to you guys about this now? I'll probably save it for the next one, but I have something else in my mind. You're going to hover in front of each of your chakras and you're just going to let it see which way it spins. So for me, I know with my pendulum that when it spins clockwise, it's a yes or open. When it spins counter, it's a no or closed. So I use this in decision making, checking my chakras, everything. So you're going to want to find out which is a yes and which is a no, which direction is yes, which direction is no for you. You can simply say, you know, is my name Asia? And it will say yes or no. So then you'll know which way your pendulum goes. And then you go in front of each of your 7 chakras and you just let them hover and see which way it's going. You'll know if it's open or closed. So then what I like to do, anything that is closed. Some of you were saying that your throat chakra was closed, your heart the other day or today. So then that's where you're going to use the oil and say a lot of affirmation in that area. Then you can go back. I love to do this. Check first which ones are closed, then apply all your oils on, and then see if they open right away. They open right away. And they're then spinning and feeling good. So that's how I use my pendulum with that. I also use my pendulum, which we'll get into deeper later when we come to shifting our perception next week. I actually use my pendulum to see if I got to the root of my fear and if I've actually let it go, and which oils that I need to bring in to work with me to actually shift my perception more and get into that alignment. So we're going to talk about that next week. I don't want to overwhelm everybody with so much stuff, but right now, today, between today and Friday, I'm going to post some questions in the group for you. We want to know if you've actually had this breakthrough around your fear and what oils pulled you to support you during your breakthrough of your fear. This is all awareness. I want to remind you guys that sometimes it's hard to bring awareness to the stuff that you want to tuck away. But as a mentor of mine once said, Debbie Ford, and Asia will know, she's reading Dark Side of the Light Chasers, you can put ice cream over poop, but you'll still eat the ice cream and still get to the shit. So you have to look at it now, or it's going to continue to show up and wreak havoc on your life, on your income, on your business. So there is no reason that you can't have all the success that you desire. That's why I started coaching, was I couldn't understand why 1% of all network marketing companies, why 1% of people were successful. And I'd go around and ask them, what do you do? What do you do? I was hungry. I was so hungry. What do you do? And they tell me, I'm like, well, I know that. I'm doing that. Why isn't it working for me? And that's when my mind was blown open and I was introduced to this idea of shadow work, or looking at the shit you just don't want to look at, or pretending you're the person that you don't want anybody else to see. You got to bring your whole self. So you guys, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I love you all and I appreciate you. Great work. Great work. If you have questions, tag me in the group and I'm here to support you. And I love you. And enjoy having your breakthrough until Friday when we talk about some deeper coaching around that. If you want some one-on-one coaching with Ryan, make sure to bring some questions. He's fantastic when it comes to money blocks, blocks in business, masculine, feminine, and your relationship. Just bring whatever you have and we'll jam out with him. But it was so great seeing you guys, and have a beautiful rest of your day.